Hey homebrewers, happy Homebrew Wednesday. Lamb's Navy rum, beautiful. So I'm back from Berlin. Made it through the harsh Berlin November, which was unseasonably cold, absolutely freezing. Wearing lots of clothes and hats and stuff all the time. My hair was like that most of the time when I was going into bars and pubs and anywhere indoors. But who cares? I had a brilliant time. Berlin's a brilliant city. Recommend it to anyone. Had quite a few nice German beers while I was there. Cue photo montage. So, the first thing I did when I got back on Sunday morning was make a beer. So, I thought I'd be knackered when I got back, but actually I had a few hours and I thought, let's do that first extract brew. So I made my Beer special, my first extract brew, and here's a little bit of a kind of summary of how it went. So here are my ingredients for Beer Special Bitter. 2.5 kilograms of light spray malt, 350 grams of white sugar, 35 grams of black malt, 130 grams of crystal malt, and 54 grams of Challenger hops for 90-minute boil, and then 11 grams of Styrian Golding or Bowbeck hops post boil. In goes the dry malt extract. I was actually unconvinced previously as to whether I'd be able to achieve a nice vigorous boil on my stove, but as you can see, that's not a problem. And in go the Challenger bittering hops. Believe it or not, I've been at this for ages by now. I'm going to make this one snappy, guys, because it's verging on Homebrew Thursday again, and we all know there's no such thing as Homebrew Thursday. So my beer is now in primary fermentation. It's been there for a couple of days. It's got a nice Krausen on the top. It's in a plastic bucket type fermenter with a lid with a kind of a hole with a rubber grommet in it for sticking an airlock in. But I'm not quite sure the seal is working right. Either that or I've got a stuck fermentation because it's not bubbling. My airlock's not bubbling. But it does look as if it's fermenting. All the signs are there. It's got a nice thick Krausen and everything, so I think maybe it's not quite sealed somewhere. Unfortunately, I broke my hydrometer when I was sanitizing my equipment before brewing up. Oh! How many times? I think that's my third hydrometer. I should be kept away from sharp objects and glass things generally. That's the lesson I take from that. I will have to get another one to check out what the reading is, even though I don't have an original gravity reading because I broke my hydrometer. Obviously, if I take a reading and it's still like 1020 or something, then it's not fermented out, or even higher maybe. So yeah, so it's been a busy week. I can't believe I've got time to actually do a brew in that time, being on holiday and stuff. I was sort of agonising about whether to use a liquid yeast before I went off, and in the end I hadn't really been planning to do that brew on Sunday because I didn't think I'd have time or the inclination to do it, but I was well motivated to do it when I got back. So I only had my my Nottingham yeast, so I stuck that in. Just rehydrated it, didn't make a starter or anything, because obviously, as I said, I wasn't expecting to brew up, so rehydrated and chucked that in, 1 11-gram sachet. So hopefully that's not the problem. It probably won't be, it definitely won't have as authentic a flavour, or probably as nice a flavour as if I'd used a liquid yeast. But so it's, you know, it's the first extract brew. I wanted to get used to the process and all of that. So my beer actually came out to about 22 litres, I think it was in the end, rather than 23 litres, something like that. So the brew length is a bit short. I thought I can either add another litre of water in it to get up to the desired brew length, or just leave it a bit stronger. I thought, so I'll just leave it a bit stronger, see how it turns out. So I have had a couple of things, bits of kit come in the post, sort of kit, I guess you could say. Surprise, surprise, I'm always buying kit. Not particularly expensive stuff this week, and quite interesting and exciting, for me anyway. New hop bag. So yeah, I'm not going to rob a bank, and as you can see, I've not cleaned it very well because it's got loads of hop detritus and stuff in it. But anyway, that's my new hop bag. Had a bit of a nightmare transferring the water out of the boiling pot into my fermenting vessel, because I didn't use this hop bag to boil the hops in. I actually just put them, as you can see on the video, I put them directly into the wort, because you get better, you know, isomerization and everything else that way. But you then got to deal with obviously the hops that are in the liquid. So my master plan was either to kind of put this over the edge of the boiling pot and pour through it, strain it, or stretch it out over the top of my fermenting vessel and pour through that and let it catch the hops as it went through. Now, it wasn't really big enough to do that, and it didn't really work, and I ended up sort of spilling a bit and actually losing, well, not losing, but I ended up with some hops in the fermentation vessel. Now, I don't think that's going to make any difference to the fermentation, but we'll see, I guess. And I'll still have to kind of find some way to strain it off at some point. In terms of the hops, they both came from the same source, from the same shop. The Bobek, the Styrian Goldings, really gorgeous and citrusy and fresh and smell lovely. And I guess you'd expect good aroma and everything from aroma hops like that. The Challenger that I had though was a little bit, you can probably see on the pictures, it's a little bit kind of browner. Didn't smell as fresh, if I'm honest. It's not a bit kind of, not musty exactly, but not as kind of fresh anyway as the other one. So I wonder if those are actually as good as they need to be. They're more for bittering. They're obviously just for bittering basically, because I boiled them for an hour and a half. So maybe it doesn't matter as much in terms of losing the aroma and the oils. As long as the alpha acids are still there, I guess it doesn't really matter. I don't know how much impact that will have on the character of the beer. I'm just a bit dubious about that. So the most exciting thing actually that happened to me this week, along with creating an extract brew for the first time, was the fact that this little puppy came in the post. This is something that I've been looking forward to doing for ages, because I love home brewing, but I don't love rinsing sanitizer off of things. Because I am pretty good with my sanitation, do quite thorough sanitation, but I've never had no rinse sanitizer before, so it's always a ball ache, a pain in the arse, with loads of rinsing. And this is going to make my life a lot easier, and I've used it for the first time. In fact, I looked at a few videos about storing it and reusing it. Like Craig Tube's got a video about storing it and reusing it in like a 5 litre or 1 gallon plastic container bottle. But he tends to, I don't think he's paid too much attention to the kind of acidity of his water, because this is kind of cloudy, was kind of cloudy, as I recall in that video. But somebody in the UK, there might have been Harry Brew 69, I can't remember who it was, posted a video about Ashbeck water in Tesco's, the supermarket, which is acidity of 6.2. It's selling in 5 litre bottles, and it's dirt cheap, like £1 a bottle or just over. And so, with that in mind, I got 2 of those, and I just diluted, I think it was, the instructions tell you to use 1 ounce of Starsan for 5 gallons of tap water, so that's American gallons, so 5 gallons is 19 litres. This is 5 litres, so 2 of these is about half a gallon. So I used half an ounce, measured out the ingenious little kind of decanting device and measuring device there. And I conducted a little test actually on the acidity or neutrality or alkalinity of my tap water to see what it would do. So I used a little bit, just a tiny bit first of Starsan, stuck it in some water in my in a flask, and then just compared that to water without the Starsan in it, side by side, and the difference is quite clear, really quite cloudy. So that limits the effectiveness of it, because it relies on the acidity to break down the bacterial walls and all of that. And so that's why I went out and got this after doing that first test. So here we have my little test of my tap water to see what the pH is like. There's a bit of Starsan going in, a bit of tap water in my Erlenmeyer flask. Agitate it a bit. I don't know if that has any impact actually, but it certainly brought the cloudiness on. There's just a glass of tap water next to it, so without any Starsan in it, and the difference is pretty stark, pretty clear. What I also have is one of these. The rest of you will be aware of that. It's just a spray bottle for a quick bit of sanitising. In terms of this video software and video that I use to create these videos, I actually just use my HTC mobile phone to shoot these videos. The quality is not very good. I've just been on holiday and taken some pretty mediocre photos, especially in kind of low light situations. I've decided that for my combined Christmas and birthday present from my girlfriend, she will be getting me a cheap SLR digital camera. So I'm going to get one of these. So they shoot video in 1080p. Given how long it takes to upload one of these videos, I may not use 1080p or whatever, but I'm going to use that for shooting my videos in. It'll give a bit more clarity and stuff like that, so looking forward to that. I probably won't be doing any brewing in the next week or so. I've got quite a busy week of things coming up at work and that, and also I'll be pretty busy probably playing with my new toy, my Nikon. So yeah, cool. Anyway, so Bob signing off. Have some beers or rum or whatever tickles you fancy. Cheers.